right? It's cold enough for time to stand still out here today, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about. Sri Nisargadatta is getting very subtle today and going to give us something that is quite a bit of food for thought, which is exactly what you shouldn't do with it. Listen to what he has to say. Not only the multiplicity of selves is false, even the duality of I/the world, the subject-object, is a transient appearance in my consciousness. So he's giving an unreality to everything. And where is he coming from on this? Well, I unpack it by realizing that our experience of the moment is actually not of the moment, that we live a fraction in the past at all times, because the amount of time that it takes for us to reflect the moment back to ourselves in awareness, to become conscious or cognate the moment, which happens in the mind, the moment is actually just a split nanos of moments before that, or seconds before that. For an example, looking at a movie screen like we normally do, before the light hits the film and then gets projected toward the screen, you get the white light of all potential. The light that is every movie and every potential movie ever made, every movie on the planet at present, and every possible movie in the future. When you're thinking, you're looking at a reflection of the infinite self, that identity of your own reality. So you're looking at a copy of yourself, as it were, cognating. So that is the moment that we are conscious of in our mind, because we're thinking and watching and identified with mind. He's talking about a moment that is unreflected, that is the absolute now. He goes on to say some more things that are just beautiful about this moment, and I don't think it's something you can actually think about in the way that it will be realized, but certainly think about it in the way that is intriguing and maybe will be a finger pointing in a direction that will give you something to set you free. He says all thinking is in duality, right? So what we're looking at is something that is prior to thinking, something that is not thinking, the quiet mind, the mind that doesn't have a ripple of me and mine in it. He says all thinking is in duality. In identity, no thought survives. Identity is God. That's the I am, before the amness even. It's the it's the full potential. And he says that here in his closing remark for the day. Even the experiencer is secondary, and that's what we're talking about. The fact that to cognate takes you a split second out of the moment, that you're no longer in the present, in being. Primary is the infinite expanse of consciousness, the eternal possibility, the immeasurable potential of all that was, is, and will be. Beautiful and amazing, huge, huge. Even the experiencer is secondary. Yes, even by the time you come up with a particular identity of yourself, the particular I that you're referring to when you think or experience or do anything, the ownership of that I is secondary. It is not the now. It is not the here and now, as we often like to think that it is, that experiencing the moment. Well, experiencing the moment's impossible when you have a particular point of reference in mind, because it takes that moment to create that or to build that delusion of self. Primary, so the very first thing before you cognate and freeze yourself into a particular perspective, primary is the infinite expanse of consciousness, the undivided consciousness that is the real you, as it were, the universal you, not a particular you. The eternal possibility. And why possibility? Because it is the light before it hits the film to project a particular story or a particular frame of reference. It's the I before manifestation. That infinite possibility, the I that becomes all that we have ever seen, imagined, hoped for, dreamed for, cognated in any form whatsoever. It is the eternal possibility, the immeasurable potential of all that was. You know, it's the immeasurable potential of all that was, which the moment that it becomes you is no longer potential. It's isness. It's a frozen state of being. And you pile those together and they create your particular moment. This moment is the sum total of every decision that has ever been made for you. This moment is the sum total of all of your desires. It is what makes the moment as you see it. But you, the real you, the you that you have not yet known, is infinite potential. It is the top of the sphere. All directions belong to it at once. All things that have ever happened have fallen out of it. All that can happen is in it, and all that ever will happen comes from it.